Hello everyone, once again welcome to the video series on Indian poetics and aesthetic. In previous video, we have looked upon Rasa theory, Alankara theory and Riti theory. These all theories are evolving by the time, and now we are going to take a look upon a next theory of the time, and that is a Dhvani theory. Dhvani theory by Anandvardhan. Dhvani here does not mean the sound, but it has a deep meaning. Anandvardhana in ninth century, he is the exponent of this theory. In his seminal work, Dhvanyāloka, he talks about poetry's essence lies in dhvani or suggested senses. That means this it is not a sound, but it is a suggestive meaning, suggestive sense which is given by the work that makes poetry more appealing to the spectator. If you look at the structure of Dhvanyāloka, then it is divided in four chapters, each chapter named Udyota. The aim of this theory is to establish Dhvani as a poetry's soul. That means the suggestive sense of the time of the poetry makes poetry an extraordinary. Dhvani theorists held this view that poem is a sublime if it has a dhvani. That means they advocates that there should be a use of a dhvani, that means a suggestive meaning in the poetry. He said with this Sanskrit a shloka, यत्रार्थ शब्दो व तमर्थम उपसर्जनी कृतास्वार्थो व्यक्तः काव्य विशेषः सा ध्वनिरीति सुरभिः कथिता. That means where sound and sense, making the expressed sense a secondary, suggest an idea over and above the expressed one. It is a good poetry or Dhvani Kavya. If we divide this definition in parts, then first part they're talking about making the expressed sense secondary. That means whatever is told in the poetry that you do not have to consider that thing. On the other hand, you have to overlook that meaning and you have to choose another expressed idea which is light in the poetry, and that is Dhvani, and that makes the poetry Dhvani Kavya. In Raghuvansham, Kalidasa compared Shabda and Artha to Shiva Parvati. He, with this shloka, said that Vagarthika Sampruktu Vagartha Pratipataye Jagataha Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwara. That means Shabda and Artha are quite connected with each other like Shiva and Parvati. We show the ideal of Ardhanarishwar. So similarly, Kalidasa talks about the Shabda and Artha's connection with each other like that. In that way, Dhvani is coding and Artha is decoding, and meanings are imposed on the words. That means each words do not have each word does not have any meaning, but we are giving meanings to the words. And poet should use words in that sense that whenever we decode it or whenever the spectator decodes it, so the artha would be something that is suggestive sense. Anandvardhana talks about types of kavya. He said that there is a three kind of kavyas. First is Uttama Kavya. That means also a Dhvani Kavya that he himself talks about in the definition of a Kavya, that is a Dhvani Kavya. There is a suggested sense in the Kavya. Second is Madhyama Kavya. That means Guni Bhuta Vyangyat. Suggested sense subsidiary to the literal one. That means there is a literal meaning that is going high upon that, and not there is too much importance of a suggestive meaning. And third is the Adhama Kavya or Chitra Kavya. There is no suggested sense, such as comedies or that comedies which do not have any deeper meaning, but that only exist for the sake of laughter or sake of entertainment. So he is considering this to the Adhama Kavya. Then he talks about function of words in Dhvani theory. Words exhibit three functions, that means a vyapara. First is abhidha, primary expression, that means we are reading words and generating the meaning. Second, Lakshana, indication, that means through the one word we are indicating something else. And third is Vyanjana, that means there are a literal meaning available, but we have to suggest another meaning, we have to choose another meaning. One example is given here is the Gangayam Ghoshas in Hamlet. In Hamlet, there this word is used there, but shall we consider it as the Ganga of India? Because at that time, the Indians, in the Shakespeare's time, there was not that much of importance of Ganga in that sense. So Hamlet cannot come here and stand upon the river, stand upon the bank of Ganga. So at that time, we have to avoid the first meaning of standing on the banks of a river of Ganga, and we have to look of the what is the emotions are connected with that, and there is a feeling of coolness and sensitivity in the Ganga, and that is why Shakespeare used these words in that sense. So here the use of Vyanjana is reflected here. Meanings making in Dhvani. So, as we talked about three types of meaning in Dhvani, the first is Abhidha. That means there is a direct meaning. There is no need of going to any other indirect meaning. We are advocating something or using words that literally means that. Second is Lakshana. That means there is no direct meaning. So, with that word, we cannot bring any words with that. So we have to choose indirect meaning in that sense. And third is Vyanjana. That means there is a direct meaning in the word, in the work, but we have to choose indirect meaning. And that is a sublime kind of a work in that sense. Then moving further, he talks about theory of spota. Different elements of poetry, when taken together, reveal a deeper meaning to Sahardaya, that means spectator. So here, whenever the spectator completing the work, watching, viewing, or reading, at that time, at whole, they are getting a different elements and deeper meaning, which is not their direct reference to in the work. Then he said that Dhvani's meanings are divided in five parts. First is Vyanjanak, that means suggestive word. There is a use of word and that suggesting something. Second is Vyanjanakarth, that suggestive meaning, that whole artha we have to use in suggestive sense. Third is Vyangyartha, that means suggestive idea. Fourth is Vyanjanath Vyapara, that means function of suggestion. And fifth, among this all, the most important one is the Dhvani Kavya, that has an immense importance in Dhvani theory. Furthermore, he discussed about three types of Dhvani in work of art. First is Vastu Dhvani. Suggested sense is of the nature of mere appealing idea. As we take a look at the example of comedy, so it is connected with Vastu Dhvani. Second is Alankara Dhvani. That means suggested sense is a figure of speech. So with the use of figure of speech, poet is giving a suggested sense to its spectator. Third is the Rasadhvani, and most appealing one in this. Vachyarth evokes a rasa, means a Rasadhvani. So by reading that, there is an evokes of the rasa in the spectator. So whatever Bharata said in his theory, rasa theory, here he just connected rasa theory with the Dhvani theory, and it is the important one. Then he talks about idea of principal sentiment. That means there should be a particular principal rasa in the work, and that should not be dominated by other rasas. If there is a use of rasa, Shringara rasa in the work of art, then there should be a proper use of that. Then at that time, the other rasa, which is contradicting Shringara rasa, such as Vibhadsa, should not be used in the poetry. So in that way, Ramayana has a Karuna rasa, that is a principal rasa in that, and principal dhvani of that. And Mahabharata has a Shanta dhvani in that. Then he talks about Pratyamana Artha. That means Dhvani altogether means Pratyaman Arth. Pratyaman Arth can be divided in two parts, Laukika and Alaukika. Laukika earth is divided in Abhidha and Lakshana, which we have parted in Dhvani earlier, and Alamkara Dhvani and Vastu Dhvani all together give a Laukik Artha. On the other hand, Alaukik Artha, which is arises from Vyanjana and it only comes from the Rasa Dhvani. So the poets or its canonical works, which is there in the literature that suggesting something sense or having a kind of appeal in that way. And with the Dhvani theory, he also cover up the all earlier theory in this theory. So this is the Dhvani theory, and stay tuned for next theory related to Indian poetics. Till that, have a great day and thank you for watching.